Welcome back to Short Shifts. My name is Jeffrey Jehu Scott Lavecchio. My co-pilot on this Magic Carpet ride tonight, as always, is the vertically challenged Christopher Topher Ryan Scott. Topher Ryan Scott has no idea what my topic is tonight. Topher, topic tonight, power plays. I want to know what your favorite power play setup to run was and why. And then if we run out, we'll just go over other power play setups.
You mean like as a player?
Yeah, as a player, you were playing. What was your favorite power play setup? Why? Why did you? I'm guessing you if you like it, it's probably because you did well with it. You scored a lot with it, got a lot of assists, whatever. Power play was clipping. What was your favorite power play? Why? And like, what does that power play look like?
Oh man, that's a good question. Thank you for calling me vertically challenged, by the way. Appreciate that, love. But I think when I was at Cornell as a player, we had the number one power play in the country my freshman year. And we did an overload. We did an overload, which is fairly similar to a 1-3-1. It's
Can you
just
explain an overload in case there's parents, players?
so think of a 1-3-1, which is what you see with so many different power plays at every level now, where
maybe even break that down even more.
You got one guy that's up at the point. You got one guy that's on the half wall. You got one guy that's in the middle, which they call the bumper. One guy on the offside, and that's like the three. And then there's the one person that's in front of the net, right? And on the overload, it's basically when that person that's in front of the net pops off to the side of the net. Right. And so, yeah, our power play was sick that year, man. We had, it was me. I was down by the net front, kind of popping off. Matt Molson was the half wall player. We had Shane Hines, who was a 3rd round draft pick to Anaheim. He was the guy that was in front of the net that would pop out into the middle. We had Byron Bitts on the backside, who played in the NHL. Did you play with Bitsy in Providence?
A little bit, yeah.
You know Bitsy, big 6'5"
monster,
Saskatoon farm boy. He got some NHL games, and then our defenseman up top was Charlie Cook, who played a ton of years pro. And was a great player in and of himself. And so we did the overload, and we had I think the one thing is that, like, you have to put people in positions and roles where they're going to succeed. Right. And so Mols was the half wall guy because he really had great vision, but he can also rip a puck, and he scored like more than anybody I've ever seen from a wrist shot from the top of the circles or a snapshot from the top of the circles. Like, he had that ability, which is very, very rare. Cooker up top saw it really well. He also had a one-time bomb. Like, he was a righty and Mols was a lefty, so Mols can feed him for that bomb, and he was great at getting shots through. Heinze, 6'3", 225-pound in front of the net that was popping up into the bumper area, can really go retrieve pucks, after shots and stuff like that. And then Bitsy on the backside had great poise with the puck and was also a big boy who can go get the puck off shot retrievals as well. And so how we kind of worked it was, Cooker was up top. He was a righty. Mols was on his offside as a lefty. He was the quarterback of the power play and had the puck in his hands the most. And when he got it, Heinze was in front of the net, and I would pop off to the side. And so Mols would pass it down to me at the goal line. Heinze would pop into that bumper position, trying to take that defenseman with him. And then Bitsy would be coming down that offside on the backside on the back door. So I had a ton of different options. If they didn't respect Heinze, it was boom right into the middle. If they did take Heinze, there was a good chance that Bitsy was going to be open on the back door. And also, if none of that was open, I would get it. I would fake like I was going to the net, and then I would just give it right back to Mols. And like, it was really funny because I wasn't shooting the puck. I literally wasn't allowed to shoot the puck. Everybody else on the power play shot the puck way better than I did. So I was just a facilitator. But it worked out really great for a lot of different reasons. Number one, we all played our roles really, really well on the PP, and we were all hard. So like, that's one thing that people don't talk enough about on the PP is shot retrievals. So whenever there was a shot retrieval, I was a dog on a bone. Heinze was a dog on a bone. Mols was a dog on a bone. Bitsy was a dog on a bone. Like, we were getting that puck back. So we were able to shoot the puck and keep the other team on their toes a little bit, because when there's a threat for a shot, that keeps the PK on their toes. The other thing that was really good was that Cooker had an unbelievable one-timer from up top. So they had to respect him. And because they had to respect him up top, it opened up some things in the middle, and it opened up some things on the side where Mols and I were at, because if they didn't, like, it was almost a two-headed monster, right? Like, if you are so far on Mols and my side, like Bitsy or Cooker, who were both righties, were right there for one-timers and see you later, because they can both bomb a one-timer. If they didn't respect us on this side, Mols was going to come in and he was going to score, and so just a lot of different options. And I think the one thing we did really, really well, I'm a big believer in quick puck movement on the power play. I'm a huge believer in quick puck movement. And for you as a penalty killer, I can imagine you can empathize with that, because it's easy to defend a power play when they're standing still and they're not moving the puck. When they are moving the puck, it's a little bit tougher, because now you're moving, maybe you're letting some seams up, maybe your stick goes up in the air and you let through a passing lane, right? And so we moved the puck really quick. We had a bunch of guys who can shoot it. We had a bunch of guys who were a dog on a bone after that shot happened to go get those puck retrievals back. And yeah, man, like, we number one power play in the country that year, and it helped us win a lot of hockey games. And I got pretty in depth on that. I'm sure I can go even more in depth on it.
Yeah, I want to ask you some questions, because in juniors, I played that, like, step off the side of the net role too.
Mm-hmm.
That was only in college a little bit too, and then in pro, I when I would went to Europe, I would play, like, actually in front. Where were your feet? Where were your skates when you pop off?
Yeah, they were pretty much on the goal line. They were
Okay.
pretty much on the goal line. And I think the one thing that's really important for that player is that every time you get the puck, you have to look to the net and take a step or two to the net, because that keeps the penalty kill honest. Like, if I got the puck from Mols on the half wall, right, and I got it and I just gave it right back to him without any form of, like, deception or any form of threat going to the net, that's easy to play against. And Mols got a lot of goals from passing the puck down to me pretending like I was going to the net, stopping on a dime and passing it right back up to him. Because when I threaten the net, their guys all collapse towards the net, right? All the penalty killers collapse toward the net. All their eyes are now facing south and towards the net. They're not looking at Molson. They're not looking at Cooker anymore. So I would get it. I would threaten to walk it to the net, stop, go back, pass it up to Mols. If he had a shot, boom, he was taking it and he was zipping it right under the crossbar. Or if he didn't, he had that one-time threat in Cooker. So now, right, the PK are all retracting back to the net. Now you need one guy to get right back into Mols's lane, and you need another guy to get right back into Cooker's lane.
And even Bitsy across, if that's
or Bitsy across, right? Like, you're really forcing the PK to have to make a decision. And so for me, as that off the net side guy, it was so important for me for just that half a second to a second, just threaten it. And same thing, like, deception is so important. Like Mols would threaten to shoot it, right? He had the puck in the holster ready to shoot. And then that caused everybody to kind of, like, their butts to to get a little bit tighter. And then all of a sudden, boom, right over to Cooker, who now has a lane for a one-timer, or down to me, or across to Bitsy. And so, just funny story here. What do we got? Like a minute left, but a really funny story is that, like, so Mols, like, obviously a sniper, and Heinze was a third-round draft pick. He wanted the puck too. And every time that Mols would give me the puck, like, Heinze would pop, right? He would pop from the front of the net into that bumper area, into that slot area. Heinze thought he was open every time I got the puck. Every time he got the puck. And I'm a freshman. I'm a 5'4" freshman. Mols and Heinze are, like, high, like, draft pick, like, juniors, like, unbelievable. And like, every time we would go back to the bench, it was like, Toph, I was open, Toph. Heinze would be saying that. Mols would be like, shut up, Heinze. Like, no, you weren't. Like, it's the right play to get me the pucks. They're always on me, right? And there were a couple times where I actually did feed Heinze in the middle for a goal. And he's like, see? Every time. And Mols is like, I'm leading the country in power play goals, dude. Like, come on, So it's like, it was always really funny. They were really funny together. But yeah, like, that's what we did. I mean, geez, we just did the whole freaking 10 minutes on this one. But like, at the end of the day, you have to have a dog on a bone mentality. If you want more reps on the power play, a lot of those reps are going to come from getting the puck back after shots. And if you have a shooting mentality, it's going to cause the PK to pucker up a little bit and be a little angsty. And we all played our roles to a T. We all played, to our identity on that power play. We had great chemistry, and because of that, we led the country in scoring. So that overload, hopefully that helped everybody. Boom.